Okay, so we're going to go through the Control 4 system. We'll start, there's multiple parts of this. So we'll start with like the TV interface and what you can pull up on the TV, and then we'll go through what you can pull up for music and sound, and then other controls. So currently there is only one remote in here, so we'll just control this room, but this remote can control any room. And then there's also an interface on the computers that we can use, so you actually don't need the remote. So the very first thing you do to access anything on the Control 4 system, if you want to use the TV, is you hit the big red 4 and it pulls up this on-screen interface. That on-screen interface is common on the computers and on the TVs, so you only need to learn it once. Okay. So from here we navigate with the up, down, left, right arrow and the select right in the middle to control various aspects of the system. So for example, we do watch, and then you're given options of what you can watch on the TV. So the Smart Hub TV is a Samsung feature that's built into the TV. Not sure what you want to do with it. It has access to streaming sources like video and photos and network files. It's more of an entertainment feature than anything. So you can, I don't know what you want to do with it, but you can use that for whatever function you want. To get out of this, you hit the big red 4 again. It takes a couple seconds to switch back. We can do watch, Apple TV. Apple TV will give again, it's more access to movies, TV shows, music. It's more of an entertainment feature, but you can also, depending on what you want to do, you can use it to load like a video that you want to have playing as a loop in the background that can be fed off of a computer, or music for the office. And then the last one is the Yulane PC. This is just one of the computers in the cabinet that will be connected. Right now it's not connected. So if you select it, you won't get anything. But this is just a desktop. So you'd pull up a desktop of a computer on any screen in the building, and then you can work on it or show videos or use it for control. Okay, so that's the watch. It's very straightforward. Under Listen, this is where you'd be able to pull up music that's stored on the system. So if we load some music that you want to play in the background, it would be stored under My Music, or there's access to the Rhapsody Music service. So for example, you go to My Music, there won't be anything on there right now because there's no music loaded. It's all stored on a little stick. Under Security, here you'll have the cameras. So you can pull these images up and see the cameras in the different rooms. You are being recorded. So if you need to access, these are just live images. So for example, if you're here and somebody's knocking at the door and you're here by yourself, you want to see who it is, you can pull up the cameras to see who's at that door.
So which camera is at that door? Do they all show up and you just choose the one that you want?
You just choose the one you want. So for example, there's 3 cameras right now. There will probably be a 4th added later. So, but for now, you can see what's in the areas. Also, these can be viewed remotely, so somebody can log in and see these off-site.
And watch what you're doing.
Well, or just see what's going on. You know, it's good for monitoring in case somebody breaks in, if something happens. So, gotta have security these days. Okay, under lighting, you're going to see a lot of lights that don't mean anything, and then one light that does. Because every bank of outlets has switched lamps and printers, but I'll get to that in a second. So, but the data room light, every room has one light in the ceiling that you can turn on and off. So those are the ceiling lights. Those are also accessed by the switch at the door, and I'll show you that. And then there's the lamps and the printers. So in a quad outlet, I don't know how to show this exactly. Maybe we can edit it in, but I'll give you the sound. So there's a quad outlet, and the top left outlet is where table lamps will be plugged in, and then the top right outlet is where printers will be plugged in, and then the bottom 2 outlets are always on. And every time you see 4 outlets together, they're all the same. So you can go to the 6-button keypad, push lamps, and the lamps will turn on, and you push it again, the lamps will turn off. Same thing with the printers. You push the printers button, printers will turn on, printers will turn off. When you leave and you hit the red button, it turns everything off. So lamps, printers, ceiling lights, music, TVs, anything that needs to stay on, stays on. It just turns off things that can be turned off. If the TVs want to be on 24 hours a day, all day long, we can leave those on and turn everything else off. It can be completely configured. We can also do an entry scene, so you push a button and it plays background music, or it turns on a slideshow that you want to have playing in the background. Whatever it is you want to do, we can set up scenes. Okay, so I mean that's the basics of the remote. I'll show you the music in a second. We can cut that in. The next thing is to look at is the 6-button keypads. So this is the 6-button keypad at the front door to the office. The green button is a common entry scene and will turn on all lights and printers. You can start a video playing, or you can play music. This is the entry scene that should be set up for a guest or for hosting a client. So the red button is your exit scene and should always be pressed when people are ready to leave at the end of the day and lock up the office. It ensures that any utilities that need to be off will be turned off. Anything that needs to be on will be turned on or left on. And it locks the data room door. It just ensures that the office is in the state it should be when people leave. And then just for safety's sake, it does not lock the front door, because people will lock themselves out. So when you leave, you should push the red button. It'll set the office in the state it should be, and then people will lock the door behind them with the lock button. When we get the new locks, these will auto lock. So it can be set to lock at a specific time of day. These locks we are not doing that programming with because they cannot be administered from within the building. Okay. The other 4 buttons can be programmed to any scene you like. It's not really necessary that they control just this room because this is only the reception. It would be better that these are scenes for the office. So if you're hosting a business client or a donor or a surrogate, or depending on what you want the office to do, it would be good to set these up to those respective functions. Okay. And then the switch next to the 6-button in any room is the overhead lights. So you always have instant access to the lights. Okay, so this is the same interface through My Home PC. It's just a point and click interface. It doesn't use the keyboard, so you just use the mouse for everything. It's launched with this icon right here, that big red Control 4, which mimics the button on the remote control. It'll automatically connect when it's configured, and you'll come up with this same interface like you saw on the TV. So for example, if you want to listen, music, it's the same exact functionality, just with a point and click with the mouse instead of doing it through the on-screen navigator.
You mean the remote would access from the remote control?
Yeah, it's the exact same as using the remote control in the TV, only you're doing it on the computer.
You would have to get into the main server?
All you have to do is, we'll put this application on whatever computers we need it on, and you'll just launch this application. So, the PC Navigator has the exact same functionality as the on-screen Navigator, only it's a little easier to use because you're already sitting there, you're pointing and clicking, you're not waiting for the TV to switch. So, you can turn on and off lights, you can view cameras, and so on and so forth. When the correct locks are in, they'll be administered from this applications page, and I'll add locks to the front door. These locks that we currently have in here can't be administered without me actually changing codes. The new ones will be able to. The one thing you have to note is that the room that you're controlling is listed up at the top. So if you want to, say you're sitting in the reception room, you know, the system doesn't know that your computer is sitting in the reception room or in the office. So you need to click on the name of the room and choose which room you want to control. So if you're doing things and you're not seeing anything, you're probably in the wrong room. You want to just check the room up at the top. So for example, right here we hear music through the speakers, but we're not seeing any status at the bottom because the office is not playing any music. We're in the data room. So that's always a key to check what room you're in. Okay. Or showing a slideshow, whatever it is that you plan on doing. Okay. And then the little circle is the power button. You can turn off the room. And that's about it. If you need to pull something up, if Demi says, you know what, we have clients coming in and we need to, you know, prepare the office for their arrival, you want to have whatever slideshow playing, or a video or some music to set the scene, we'll have that. Probably the easiest thing to do would be to have, again, like a scene button that you choose, like like that green button at the front. Every time you push that, it's set up for you know, an interviewee or a client that's coming in that you need to, you know, host in the office. So yeah, we'll work out those things as the details, you know, emerge. Okay.